FlyQuest, and we get the Zac as well. So Graves jungle.
Okay.
I was hoping, or I mean, they could swap.
They could
if they really
technically
wanted
swap,
to,
they
technically,
could.
but I'm assuming it's now going to be impactful health trade that you were mentioning. Uh-oh, Zeus.
Slowly does it. Zeus going to bellows breath. Here comes Slingshot as well, inspired in. End of the line for Zeus.
Kind of has to. If they see him, they will for sure go for him. But Owner's going for the recall. Okay, they're going to find him.
Anything. Owner sees him Slingshot away, but Zeus gets full access. And echoing your point there, Kobe, more time with the turret. Zeus going to get a turret play from this. And look at the denial of this massive minion wave.
Exactly. You can already see the experience difference right now is ballooning. That purple bar under the champion icon there for Ornn. Zeus now dings over to level 5. Inspired comes up. Inspired wants to help him get in.
But Owner's behind him. I mean, there's going to be a searing charge. He flashes away, gets up to the wave. Good kiting away. As Bwipo now rejoins the fray as well. Back towards his red side of the jungle, thinking about getting over so he can get that experience for the singular grub and also stop the stacking here early from T1.
And it's very easy to walk by grubs and steal one with Smite, but Inspired actually goes over a ward, so Faker knows he's not going to, drop anything here with the pass from Inspired, plus Owner is going to be able to finish up those Void Grubs, no problem for him. And again, pinging up here on top side on a giant stacked up wave in the face of Bwipo. No level 6 for Bwipo either.
And here comes Call the Forge God, no cell division either. He's going to get double knocked up, bellows breath, clap down. Shoot, T1's top, back in action.
Huge.
Bleeding in top, but I think more importantly, the fact that Bwipo's behind, whatever the champion is, he feels like the lifeblood of this team. I know you've been watching here just in case it goes any further. We go back top side, the boys battling it out. Let's bounce. I love that take matchups.
Here comes Graves, they're not
now.
done.
You're right, Inspired going to make it even more fun, but Call the Forge got in the waves there, bellows, breath, it's flash. Bwipo's flash goes into cell division, but the center ulti slows down the play. The minion wave's gone, Inspired can't do anything. And Zeus, we call it a 1v2 as he won't get out. 6 minutes in the game. Another one to admire as Guma just does it better.
Yeah, it looks like Owner's going to be able to finish up on all 6 Void Grubs as well. The buffed up damage from those on the patch going to feel pretty nice for T1. Teleport comes in.
It's Faker coming in. Off the side lane,
Double.
Kerry, it's a double, it's a ruse. They try to predict, Jensen flashes away. Flash from Faker though, sends him right back in. And Shockwave's only a one-man as Faker sidesteps it. So beautifully done, so nicely synced up. And T1 on the bottom side as Dragon number 2 spawns. Owner committing to going. Guma and Kerry are here as well. Numbers advantage for the time being. There's a flash and Owner is out immediately. Busio wanted in so hard for that one, but he doesn't find it and now is summonless.
Yeah, goes for the flash play, doesn't quite grab it. They're really grasping for opportunities though, because they can feel this game, running away from them quite quickly here. So they feel the pressure to make some plays.
There we go onto Jensen. I mean, this is why the matchup slaps so hard. Faker goes all in. Owner's there to support. And it's never just Faker, is it? Someone always by his side, whether it's Carrier, whether it's Owner, and Inspired now getting the full face of the medal as well. Licky Tongue in action, and Inspired flashing away to survive away from Gimayushi, but he's over the wall, he's got the range. Busio up next, he's silenced, he goes into hostile mode, but it ain't gonna take, is it? Owner with a reset now, the flying through, Owner gets another, and another's coming up. Give him a double, and we're set up for Owner's Viega. We're set up.
Hot. They're going to grab a Dragon plus mid-secondary turret before 14 minutes. That's
a better answer, are we?
Yeah, Carrier has looked really good, as have the rest of T1. From this point on out, it's extremely easy for them to end out the game, especially with the aforementioned 6 differences. It would be different, but it's the same old lethality jungle one, and T1 looking to go straight through the front door here, Hysterics.
Yeah, let's hope it's not in 15 seconds time, Kobe, because otherwise you're going to have real problems with the community. Call the Forge God under turret, Masu and Busio are going to get healed away, but this dive ain't over. Zeus is level 12 as they charge on him. Bwipo looks for the counter angle. The last punch in such an early game. He bounces, he drops, he jumps in, but Carrier does it better. The frog runs in, the shockwave is good from Jensen, but there's not enough damage. Masu can't get the reset from the bailout, and Carrier can't be stopped. It's another one. The guy looks like he is playing Nautilus with an R button. It's insane, it is nuts, and you can laugh at Mad Lions, but let's be real, Kobe, FlyQuest ain't far off.
You can say that again. T1 are blasting them here.
Holy This is domination from what was an early opener. Looks so beautiful from FlyQuest to absolutely nothing. FlyQuest have gotten nothing in this game. 13-1. Nexus dropped in 17.5 minutes.
All right, they're locked in.
That is T1 locked in. Hell yeah, it is.
A lot of like terrible, hard counter matchups. Always has options for playing safe, regardless of what it's going to be.
But they pick Asante R5.
All right, yeah, Zeus is. I mean, there's a lot of top laners.
I was going to say he's got a body slam on
He
red.
needs to be wider.
He does. As Carrier roams mid to Jensen, there's the flash gone. He just came back to lane. He just walked here. But now as he gets poked out again, I mean, Jensen might get forced back, might have to TP early as we get in the jungle trade. And this is the best part about lane swaps. Level 2 hit by Inspired. Faker does the damage, but Zeus is left out. He takes him up against the wall. He ignites. He still dies. But they're in 3v3 with no health bars, and Carrier is an Ash with Hail ablaze. He starts firing away. Inspired tries to tank it up, but Permafrost is so easy. Ona's going to get the kill. Busio's up next. He dredge lines out, but Carrier gets the flash, has his own, matches him. And if you want to take T1 toe-to-toe on in this early game, they'll be happy to do the dance.
Because they're also probably going to get dove by Owner. Owner's heading over, so I want to look at bottom lane. Thank you.
Here we go. Permafrost, remember, is what you got to look for. Busio gets hit hard and doesn't even give it a chance to react. Double turret shot for Owner, well juggled as Guma picks up the first kill. Now onto Wibo, level 3, he body slams in. He attempts, but Carrier kites it out. He parries, but doesn't survive. It's a small trade, but remember,
they've been ending out games. You can definitely tell that they want to make use of the Void Grub buff and pushing down all these turrets. They don't want to wait around for a long game stacking dragons. Like that's not really on the timeline.
They've got dinner reservations,
Yeah,
can't be here all night.
The timeline, we're on the Grub timeline here, not the dragon stacking timeline. And so they go for the top side objective instead. And they will be able to pick that one, although
Fake has the wall, but not needing it. Remember, Masu with the lockdown is what we're looking for, how they survive. The level 3 Nautilus going to try. Under turret, gets a little bit janky. His owner takes it up. Ends up being a trade here. Service, you're baiting me. Change of Corruption comes through. Guma, meanwhile, doesn't need to cleanse because he doesn't have it. Doesn't care. The poke's in. Carrier tanks up turret again while T1 have to get out of dodge because Jensen with the ulti sends him back, but one minion maybe saved the day. Owner running for his life with Guma over the wall. The Weaver's Wall brings Faker back into melee range. Seismic jump flash away from it. Jensen is caught between a rock, and a rock. Faker on the back end still pokes him down. Just when you think Fly can get revenge, T1 still reigns supreme.
Another rock, and another rock, and another kill, and another kill, and another kill for T1. You can tell they really want to keep forcing around Guma, this Fed Kalista that we keep talking about, this lethality build.
Good night. Carrier's timing was sick, man, and they are making fun of North America. T1 in play-ins, like, get them out of here, put them in this main stage.
Good night. Oh man, the timing on the arrival there, the teleport comes in. If you want to do that at home, it's actually not that hard to time these teleports. You just aim your skill between the teleport location and your fountain. That's where the person will arrive, and then never mind.
The duo gets even better, whether they adapt to the meta or just have insane laning phases like we've had. Whether it's a laning phase traditionally or not, I mean, we've only got positives to talk about here for T1 with a 4K gold lead in the early game. Now with 6 scrubs yet again here, like, it doesn't matter. 6-0.
Make sure that the fight is not around this Kalista, because you're just not going to win it around him. He's way too far ahead. There's too much power. You have to get people alone.
Like Faker maybe. Seismic shove though, it's countered. Inspired didn't go in as it's Carrier's ulti that swings and misses, but Faker still pushes them off of the turret. Inspired flushes under and finds it. Everyone survives. Okay. FlyQuest got a shutdown. That's something, but Busio went to an adventure. He decided to go through the wardrobe.
How did he get in there? Summoner spells, but he also has the shield to rely on. Bubo trying to keep the minions away from the tower.
Just ignored. Good buffer from Zeus. Turret's going to drop down here thanks to Grubs. And a buff-wood auto gets him that turret as well. 2-0 kills. Wow. Of course, gold, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be like me. We're both looking for the chase. Inspired's coming in. Zeus is trying to buy some time here, but it might be buying time to bring the whole members down. He's still tanking up. Cyclone as well. He runs for his life, goes in the all-out, survives for now, leading him on a goose chase.
Big Boosy.
Busio with the ulti available, but he's already out of range, and people move down for that thanks to Grubs yet again as T1 stack as a 4-man in topside, making it unapproachable from Fly to get anywhere near.
All right, another tower down.
Joe's. How's that? right? And you just want to get through it as quickly as possible. So you're sitting there as Masu gets ulted and you're like, get me out, mum. I don't want to be here. Busio flashes away as well. 17 minutes in, which is an improvement. But the game is not at the inhibitor. But still, the Herald to push
means no extra Void Mites.
True. Inspired coming in for a flank, though. Here's the arrow. Not going to catch him. He goes into the clone. The real ulti, though, hits the prison down, and Guma just bursts.
Wow.
If you have children, don't let them watch.
Yeah, that was brutal because they had Carrier Ash Arrow. It got the clone, but because of that, you know, Owner is able to hit the Sejuani ult on the fresh W usage from Inspired, and he got comboed.
Weaver's Wall comes through as well. Whippo trying to delay, but he flashes out. No response.
Champions right now.
Yeah.
Literal world champions closing in.
Arrow. Faker.
Oh, did they not have a shove?
Maybe
ready?
not. Faker does take it a little bit. Depth charge is there. This is the play. Flash away. Inspired matches. Sends Faker on a bounce house, and he does have enough damage. He takes away the mid lane god. Now, what else can you get? Inspired with another Cyclone to get movement speed. Guma zones him away. Running forward is Zayas to separate Whippo. T1 with numbers disadvantage, but they're still playing the fight. Zayas gets slowed down. Is it a whoopsie or not? An explosive cast used. Zayas surviving for so long, and he's out! Jensen's ulti doesn't connect, and Guma's just over the wall. Ready and willing. Whippo with a body slam. It doesn't hit, no. Zayas jumps back in. He all outs, and Whippo's isolated this time from FlyQuest. T1 are making fun of them. They are squashing them beneath their boots. With the TP out, Zayas is just having the shy arc, isn't he? He goes in, he trades off, but it's all for a good cause when you know the rest of the team is in a turret to make yet another gold acclamation.
There's a lot of pings on this ward. Well,
Maybe?
If they had actually got it knocked back towards the ward, maybe then Jensen teleports in, because Veigar doesn't have. Do you believe in magic?
Well, you need to. North America need to. Inspired goes in at 8k early. It's a good setup on the carrier, but a Fate's Call gets him out of dodge. The seismic shove, though, takes away the jungler. And in the blink of an eye, the miracle is done. And FlyQuest now coming in a little bit late. Blippo with the explosive cast is nice, but it's not enough. And it's
Faker's teleporting.
Whippo, sorry, Busio. You're next up, hey, Faker.
Get him!
Wait, he's running into it. Maybe Faker doing a little bit of running, but the Sonya says otherwise. They run back in. He flashes back to the safety of Gumayushi. Owner just taking no damage as Guma's just running front line. Carrier ran in for a bit of burst.
Knocking on the door.
TP just in front of his face. Wait, doesn't have Cyclone. They know the timers of Jungle Ult in the cards for FlyQuest as well. As T1 look to approach and send us to that absolute monster of a finisher here in less than 50 minutes so far in this series. Bot lane turret now gone.
Inspired here up on the...
Faker again. Cyclone comes through. It's the last chance. Jensen gets a shove back on the Nemesis here in the mid lane. Faker's still going to dive at Guma. Cleans it up for a trade. Inspires to get on out of there as well. I'm talking like this is close. Even as Owner whiffs the ulti, it doesn't matter. Watch Guma's damage as he cleaves through the guy from Bioshock. Big Daddy down. FlyQuest left to 3. A body slam flash. An attempt here from Whippo. But even that will do nothing. Under the turret, Carrier sits freely. Owner's playing with food. I mean, they're styling on them yet again. And T1 with Baron Kobe, I think they're just going to do it.
I agree. T1, what a stomp here at MSI. Zayas goes for another one here on Inspired. Inspired bonks him on the head, though.
Maybe it's not over. Kerry has demolished. Wait, Guma just silences him. Dredge line avoided. Busio, you're up next. No turret to speak of. That is disgusting. Carrier arrows down onto Jensen. Guma sits at 1 HP. Carrier flashes. They are making fun of North America. Faker runs in, goes gold. The minions are helping out as well. Next is exposed while Guma hits it. Faker wins out. These guys go to the main stage, and this series is a domination of what T1, and a demonstration, I should say, what this team's capable of.
MSI 2024, after an incredibly dominant series from T1. Bit of a slaughter, I feel like.
Yeah, there's not really much else to say. I mean, they kind of just manhandled them, especially in the lane swap that kind of only got worse, which we were kind of saying, look, can we see this work out? Can this happen for FlyQuest? But it was an absolute mess. The second we started to see the dives coming through, T1 just looked better on the map as a whole.
Yeah, and I think as we think about this T1 team going further in the tournament, right, we haven't like really delved into expectations for this team yet, but they are one of the tournament favorites. I think they've been able to get through this initial play-in stage with obviously not showing a lot to their opponents, I would say. I liked the way that they drafted in a lot of these series was very good for them specifically. And I think this team, they are defending world champions. They ended up sticking with this roster after a lot of rumors that they might not. The expectations for this team are very high. I've always really loved this T1 team specifically because of the way that they play. And as you see, like when they win, a lot of their wins are just so incredibly dominant because of the way they play the early game, right? Like we brought up how they'd want to swap, FlyQuest that is, would want to swap away from Guma Keria just because they are such a strong 2v2 bot lane.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem, is that when you're going up against a team like T1, if you're not able to just match into a lot of the individual performers, you're already going to be pushed out the door. So I think coming into, well, what's going to be our stage 2, I think we're going to see a little bit more of that. But I think from the get-go, T1, you expect them to come in as dominant as they were, the 4-0. But if they weren't looking as strong as they did across these 4 games, I think that's when you'd actually start to look nervous. But even from the get-go, they had a great response here to FlyQuest trying to invade onto this top side, where they end up pulling multiple members across. And because Kerry had already got the level 1 play onto Jensen in the mid lane, they just have the numbers advantage here. So a lot of even the adaptation that we see midway through a lot of these plays is great from T1. So you can already see they're just miles ahead of where FlyQuest are.
Yeah, I mean, anything FlyQuest really tried to do in these games, T1 were more than ready and more than willing and able to respond to it. They're such a dangerous team, and I think the big thing, even with lane swaps coming through, right, and I know there was a little bit of worry around whether they'd make it here because of their, they had to come up through the lower bracket because of the loss, unexpected loss in LCK playoffs. I think this team right now, they're looking very good in this meta. They are incredibly flexible, and even with lane swaps, they should be able to do very, very well.
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on if we start to see the lane swaps continue, but it really just does feel like the start of the success here for T1 at this tournament.
Well, and I think the story for both of our second seed representatives for the LPL and the LCK is just kind of reminding people how strong they are, that they are contenders for the top of the table, that it is not just Gen G and BLG, that the second seeds are still going to be that force to be reckoned with. FlyQuest learned that firsthand, and I think the other team that might have to learn that firsthand is Fnatic. Nervous about the series overall, but we weren't sure that the 3 of us had the historical cachet needed to cover this series, so we called in a little bit of expert help, someone who has a little bit of history with this matchup. Let's take a look.
Yo guys, I'm literally about to head out to the airport, heading to Chengdu to join you all, but thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this pregame, because obviously I have so much historical connection to this matchup, and I'm so excited. I prepared a whole thing for you to make sure that we get into the matchup on the right foot. So here we go. Okay, let me just catch my breath. Okay, here we go. It starts with success.
Don't play that. That was
that's fine. We can forget about
that was a joke. That never happened. You're all hallucinating together. Isn't that crazy?
That's scary. It's fine.
Success?
No, Emily,
don't use that.
why would you bring that on us? We gave FlyQuest hope.
Did you?
I dressed up like a pastor for them, and you're going to cut Fnatic down like that?
FlyQuest hope.
Well, yeah, that's fair
I actually
enough.
think Fnatic have a
them
really
the
good
game.
chance in this series.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I think it is important to remember one of the historic moments in that series was a monologue, but it was close. For a while there, Fnatic were feeling really confident. I think it's important that we look back at some of the history of that particular matchup.
Yeah, so let's actually talk about this analytically as we look at a few of the things. The big thing in this series to me was actually in that third game, Karsa is just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to play Lee Sin. And the 2 champions he plays are then Lee Sin, Nidalee, and Lee Sin. And so I think he went against kind of what the jungle meta had evolved into and was just like, you know what? I'm going to play around my lanes. I'm going to play in the style that kind of got us here. And I thought that was a really smart adaptation, despite not necessarily being what other teams were doing at the time. And ultimately, I think that is actually what ended up winning them the series. And I think that could be a way in for Fnatic now going up against TES in 2024 with Razork.
Yeah, because especially for Tien, it feels like this is a guy who can either have incredibly high highs or very low lows, and he has been the inconsistent point for top esports across a lot of the regular split and then coming into this. I think some people are riding high on him, but even when we saw it yesterday, there was that inconsistency leading in with the Viego and that. So I think especially when Razork has been such a standout performance for Fnatic, and we're starting to see that only the trio grow